In this video, I will show you how to run your C and C++ files using Notepad++. So first of all, we need to download and install MinGWW64, which allows us to build our C and C++ files. So let's type MinGWW64. Now let's go to this first link and let's click on Downloads. Now let's scroll down and let's click on this link, MinGWW64 builds. Now here we need to click on this link. So here we can save this installer, so I will save it on the desktop. So this is the installer of MinGWW64. Let's run it. In this window I have just to click next. And in this window I will just modify the architecture and I will select the second value. Then let's click next. So here I will install MinGWW64 directly on the C drive. So I will remove program files from the path. Then let's click next. Now the installation finished successfully. So let's click on next and let's click on finish to close this window. Now it is necessary to add MinGWW64 to the system environment variable. So let's go to the location where we installed it. So it is installed on the C drive into a folder called MinGWW64. Then I have to open this folder and this folder, then the binary folder. Now let's copy this path and let's close this folder and let's add the path to the system environment variables. So let's go to System, then Advanced System Settings. Then in this window we have to click on Environment Variables. Then we have to find the path variable, which is this one. So let's edit it. And at the beginning of this field I will paste the path to provide it with the highest priority. Also I will add a semicolon as the separator between the different paths. Now let's click on OK. OK. OK again, and let's close this window. Now let's open Notepad++. So here I will create a new C++ files using a source code that I have already prepared. So I will just make a copy of it and I will paste it just here. Now let's save this file. So I will save it on the desktop into a new folder called CPP. So I will call the C++ file main.cpp. And this is a simple C++ files that allows us to print some text to the user and to ask the user to provide his name. Finally, we will wait for the user to provide his name and we will display this name as a confirmation. Now to build this file using Notepad++ and MinGWW64, we need to install a new plugin. So let's go to Plugins, then Plugins Admin, and here I need to find npp exec. So this is it. I have just to select it, then to click on install. Now let's click yes. Now the plugin has been installed and this button has been added. So if I click on this button, this console will appear, and if I click on it again, the console will disappear. So in this console I can execute any command. For example, I can check the version of the G++ that I have. So let's type G++ -- version, and here I have this version of the G++ tool. Now to build and run this C++ files, I have to click on Plugins, then npp exec, then execute, and in this window I have to provide the commands that should be executed. So the first command will be npp save. This command allows Notepad++ to save the file before building it. The second command is to move the console to the directory of the current file. Then the next command is to build the file. And the last command is to execute the file. But here we should not execute the file if an error occurs during building the file. So I have to add some commands here. So here it is mentioned that if we have an error during building the file, we should exit the execution of this script. Now let's click on OK. And here we can see that the file has been built, then executed. So it is here mentioned that we have to provide the name. So let's type, for example, Bill Gates. And let's hit enter. And as you can see, we have the confirmation just here. Now let's open the folder where we created this C++ file to see what we have inside it. So here we have the C++ file and the executable file. Let's go back to Notepad++. And now what I want to do is to create an item in the menu that allows me to execute the C++ files rapidly. So let's go to Plugins, then npp exec, then execute. And here I will save this script. So let's click on save and let's call it cpp build run. Now let's save it. And let's close this window. Now let's go back to plugins, then npp exec, then advanced options. And here I have to provide a name for the new item that I want to create. So let's call it run C++. And let's associate the script that we have created to this item. Now let's click on add, and the new item will be added to this list. Now let's click on OK. And it is mentioned that we need to restart Notepad++. So let's click on OK. And let's close Notepad++. Now let's open it again. And let's go to plugins. Then npp exec, and just here we have this new item, run C++. So let's click on it. And the file has been built, then executed. So let's provide the name. Now we can do the same thing for C files. So let's go to plugins, then npp exec, then execute. Now let's modify this script. So instead of G++, I will type GCC, and let's save it. So I will call it C build run. Then let's click on save. Now let's close this window and let's go back to plugins, then npp exec, then advanced options, and let's create a new item. So the new item, I will call it run C. Then let's associate the script to this item. So it is C build run. Let's click on add, then OK. Now let's click on OK and let's restart Notepad++. Now let's create a new C file. So I will just paste the source code that I have prepared. Now let's save this file. So I will save it at the same folder than the previous one, and let's call it test.c. Now to execute it, I will just click on plugins, then npp exec, then run C. And as we can see, the file has been built, then executed. Finally, thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.